10th of September 2023. This edition of This and That and What the Fuck Else, episode 178. I'm going to talk a little bit about the pestilence and the Donbass, immigration, racism and things like that. And there's an interesting back page. Some good eye candy for the guys, and two men that a supporter sent me on Telegram and asked me to include it on the back page. So don't crucify me. That's what they want. I'm not a guy that can select men. So I have to listen to what the girls sent me. It was a difficult week. There's a lot of issues in the South African political scenario. It's quite clear that the country is in deep trouble. The ANC has lost control. They may be in denial at this stage about it, but the fact is they lost control. Everything is falling apart now. It's collapsing. I did that little story about the aeroplane, and it's very applicable. This is what's happening. Everything is collapsing, and they cannot repair it. They cannot fix it. And it seems to me that the racism train that they've been stoking the fires on the engine with is busy backfiring like hell, and the apartheid truck is running out of diesel. Good, because diesel is now so expensive, they won't be able to afford to fill the tank again. And that's where we are. And there's things happening in Europe and things happening in America. It looks to me like we, the ordinary people, are in serious trouble. The XXX cabal has got evil plans for our future, and at this point in time, as I'm talking to you, they still got free rein. They do what they like and they get away with it. But I am picking up signs here and there that the tribes are waking up. Not only here in South Africa, all across the West. I'm not an objective observer. If it gets to things like that, people may say I'm subjective. But I see tribal moves. And those that follow my channel knows that I'm convinced that it is only the tribes that's going to survive. Only the tribes will survive. But let's start with a scenic trip through Russia, Kibini Mountains. The Kibini Mountains is situated in Russia on the Kola Peninsula. They are one of the oldest mountain systems in Russia, dating back 390 million years, and at the same time, the largest in the Murmansk Oblast. Snow lies here for most of the year, so the place was converted into a ski resort back in the Soviet days. Anyone can try their hand on the slope, as there are facilities for beginners and professionals. Trekking is organized in summertime. Enjoy. That is fantastic scenery. I would love to walk there with my camera, but I enjoy the images and I like it. It's an unbelievable land. And then we get to the pestilence. Spin-off. New Zealand will restrict the use of herbal products that people use to treat infections and maintain a healthy lifestyle. The passing of the Therapeutic Products Bill marks the most significant change to the regulations of medicines, medical devices and neutral health products in nearly 40 years. Now all I'm going to say about this is, if the people in New Zealand accept this shit, then Moses 6 verse 6, stupid people must suffer. And then we get to the Donbass. In Mariupol, the construction of the first stage of the multidisciplinary medical center of the Federal Medical Biological Agency has been completed. Now tell me, what good has the Ukrainian government done for the people in the Donbass in the past 30 years? A very valid question. It's a fantastic setup that the Russians built there. I've watched the video and interiors and so. And the haters was there and saying it was bullshit and it was computer generated images and AI images and all of that. But I saw interviews with people working there and visiting the place, patients going there, interviews done by independent journalists in the Donbass. It's a fantastic medical center, that. And then we get to this. The West no longer dictates how the world runs, says the Russian diplomat. It all comes down to the shift in global power dynamics on the world stage. The West is no longer the sole, unique, technological, political and military center that can exert a dominant influence over other power centers, which include Russia, China, India and the BRICS countries. Many nations, including African ones, aspire to be part of this influential bloc. And that is the truth, and we can see it. The things are happening in the North and Western Africa. I don't know where that's going to end. I hope the Africans can keep their heads level and avoid the Western warmongers to draw them into a regional conflict there. And then there's some information, comparisons between China and the US. Mandatory retirement age. Males 60, female 55. Office 50, blue collars. That is in China. In the US it's 67. Life expectancy in China 77.93, the US 76.4. Home ownership rate in China 91.5%. 96% in the rural area and 87% urban. In America 65%. Average mortgage years, China 15, America 30. Trust in government, China 89%, America 43%. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And then think about the trillions of dollars that the Americans are blowing across the globe in wars. And then this was quite interesting. Now there's a lot of people that's going to jump up straight and triaggers and so forth. But this is the reality. Possibly thousands of unarmed migrants slaughtered with machine guns. They fired on us like rain. When I remember I cry, says a young Ethiopian woman. And the tweeter posted, I'm guessing that those wishing to illegally enter Saudi Arabia might be thinking twice, unlike European migrants. Possibly thousands of unarmed migrants slaughtered with machine guns by Saudi border guards, is the report. And, well, the Saudis is not going to let their country be overrun. It is stupid governments that allow this to happen. Look at the fiasco in South Africa. They're basically 50%. Now, okay. Our official population is supposed to be about 65 million. But there are a lot of people that places the illegal immigrants in South Africa between 15 and 25 million. Now ask yourself, how the fuck must the South African infrastructure carry that load? And then we get to the memes. And the first one, that is a computer warrior. He is now kitted out to go to Ukraine. He's gonna fight. And we've got them here in South Africa as well. Many of them. And then this one. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the reason is you're stupid and make bad decisions. Well, that baboon is going to find out soon. And then we get to NATO. And the question is asked by the poster, China government official. Now, who's the real threat to the world peace? The US has about 750 bases in at least 80 countries, and 173,000 troops are deployed in 159 countries. That is scary numbers. But I cannot understand how the American citizens is allowing this shit. Why? Then we get to this gem. 43 years after independence, ZANU-PF and Zimbabwe Vice President still think it's the white man's fault. We are failing because whites did not teach us to run an economy after independence. Well, what do you know? And I think the ANC has got the same opinion. Then we get to this. Sunflower Serena made a tweet. She replied to this guy, Lamza, Mr. Lamola. We are better without Caucasians. There's no place in the world where Caucasians went and never caused a pain. You can name one country and I'll be waiting on the comments. What makes you think you're better than other races? You are nothing without people of color. We are survivors. And she responded, why are black folks migrating to countries where there are hordes of Caucasians? Do you work for a Caucasian? Perhaps you support one inadvertently? I mean, Twitter is now owned by a Caucasian. Imagine if someone made a comment like, we are better off without blacks and there is no place in the world where blacks went and never caused pain. You and your ilk would be burning the country down. It's people like you who make comments like these. When we respond, we become racist and you become victims. A lot of wisdom in that tweet. And then we get this one from TM, Tabiso Musaka. Africans are the only multilingual beings on earth. SA alone has 9 native languages. You pale pigs claim you taught multilingual beings how to talk. An Englishman only speaks English, yet you taught multilingual beings how to talk? It is clear Africans taught Europeans how to talk. And this cuts in with their belief of superior logic and natural intellect. I'm just surprised with all those facilities. Why are they fucking up the way they're doing? And then you get this son of a bitch. Kill all white colonial settlers in South Africa, all 4.7 million of them. I want them dead, one by one. Kill all my ANC politicians for their role in upholding whiteness in South Africa. I want anything anti-black and in the way of true liberation of black people completely annihilated. Imagine a white guy makes a tweet like that. And more. Vusi Koza. We urgently need to reboot South Africa to pre-1652. Level the playing field, send settlers back to where they came from. If they wish to come back, they will come on our terms and conditions. Reboot South Africa. Now that is an intellectual giant that made that tweet. Does he understand that pre-1652 they were somewhere in the Congo? And then we get this gem. RSA individual responded to Mbali Maseko. We forgave people who were not sorry for what they did. That's why we need EFF in command, so we can settle the score. RSA individual says, can't wait. You've lost every significant battle. You have an entire country at your disposal and you can't even build people a single-room house. You have everything available to you, and yet millions of people still live in shacks. How on earth are you going to win a fight? Yeah, what can I say? And then we're in the Ukraine Biological Warfare Department. Ukrainian citizens are actually being used as guinea pigs by the Western pharmaceutical giants, claimed the former Odessa Regional Council Deputy Alexei Albu. Bulgarian journalist Asia Zwan is certain that the United States is developing biological weapons in its laboratories. Humanity is on the verge of biobacteriological war launched by the US. The research is being conducted in defiance of the Biological Weapons Convention. The US has been trying to circumvent it. That's why they have created biological laboratories in other countries, says Igor Nikulin, a former member of the UN Biological Weapon Commission. How long has the US been conducting this illegal research, and where are its laboratories located? Well, there's so many articles about this. But once again, the mainstream media don't promote this, and the people allow the governments to get away with it. And then there's this disturbing thing from Scott Ritter. Peacemaker tweeted, "It is rumored that Ukraine itself is illegally selling the bodies of Ukrainian soldiers for organs. Is it true? I cannot confirm these rumors, but I've seen various videos and information on this topic. If this is true, then it can be attributed to one of the most horrible crimes. The world should take a closer look at this situation to judge fairly. I can't confirm it, but I believe the rumors are true. Such a consumerist approach to people is simply terrifying, not to mention the utter desecration of death. The situation is simply unacceptable in modern society. Don't you agree? Ukraine must be punished for this crime," says Scott Ritter. I've seen horrific videos about what those black transplantologists are doing on the front line in the Donbass. And then we have this from South Africa. Yesterday, Moeletsi Mbeki summarized the ANC problems very succinctly and well. He says corruption started at the CODESA negotiations. The present corruption started when the white monopoly capital bribed Cyril, Tokyo, Saki Makazuma, Wendy Luawa, and very few others without Mandela knowing. The bribery is free shares worth millions in white monopoly capital firms and mines. The bribery was organized by Cyril because he started working with the SAP, Oppenheimer, Rupert and Gottsal since the early 80s. Hani became aware of the bribery. That's why he denounced CODESA and they decided to murder him in order to defend their own corruption. They, whites, had to have a corrupt government so that people keep on attacking the corrupt government officials and forget about them while they loot more. He says the master of the corruption is Cyril, not Zuma. Zuma is small fry. Well, something to take note of. I'm working on a skidmark about how the Afrikaners were robbed and betrayed prior to 94. But I will make sure of my facts before I publish. And more from Moeletsi Mbeki. Land expropriation without compensation unpacked. This is not about land. It's about the loss of votes by the ANC and its little son, the EFF. They think they can bring back the voters who are abandoning the ANC by attacking the white population. It's an attack on the white citizens of South Africa. They're using this as a camouflage to attack the white population. Guys, the racism shit is just out of this world. And the government is fueling the fires. But their problem is, Malema, with his song, placed the issue firmly on the world stage. And you can see telltale signs of BRICS countries putting pressure on Cyril. Where it's going to end, I don't know. But the ANC is a runaway truck down Marion Hill with failing brakes. It can only end in a crash. There's no other way out. But let's see where this goes and what the new week brings. I am sure that between the load shedding, the SASA issues, the government officials are going to be in a hot seat next week. And now we get to that moment, the back page, and the prudes must now close their eyes. Because this back page is for the manna, and tonight I've got two images in for the girls as well. Enjoy. Well, what can I say? It's two formidable men that you cannot deny. But those girls, wow, they are really good looking. I hope you enjoy your day and have a lot of fun. And try and smile when people tell you you're a racist or you're a whatever name they want to call you. I'm taking a lot of flack. But I chose it, and I will keep on doing what I'm doing. I'm sorry for being a little bit scant on the news this past few days, but I was busy and involved in some Afrikaans political issues that I just had to get out. But thank you for your support. Please give me a like and a subscribe and share the thing. And I want to specifically thank the people that are supporting the channel financially. As you have noticed, Google has switched the monetization off on the channel again because they are of the opinion that my ID book is not a valid form of identification. Have a great evening.